Hello, Pewter people. Scott Reynolds here with another Pewter Pulse. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers conclude their 2025 preseason at home on Saturday night against the Buffalo Bills. No, this won't be an epic clash between Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield. That comes later in the regular season in week 11 when Tampa Bay travels to Buffalo. But Tampa Bay does have some important decisions to make when it comes to its 53-man roster. And the preseason finale is going to be very big for 5 particular Buccaneers who need to shine on Saturday night. That's the subject of today's Pewter Pulse video, and I'll reveal those players to you in just a moment. First reminder, hit the thumbs up button on this video, give it a like, also leave a comment. Love reading your comments, and doing those two things helps us with the YouTube algorithm and gets us in front of more awesome Bucs fans like you. Also, head over to Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and also hit notifications that let you know when I come out with the new Pewter Pulse video or we go live at the Pewter Report podcast. Okay, with the amount of talent on Tampa Bay's roster this year, Saturday night's preseason finale should actually be a very entertaining game rather than just a showcase for scrubs on Saturday night. Let's start with the first Buccaneer who needs to shine, and that's backup quarterback Kyle Trask. Will he remain Baker Mayfield's backup this year, or will he get surpassed on the depth chart by veteran newcomer Teddy Bridgewater? Now, Trask has years' worth of chemistry and rapport with the Bucs players as his advantage, in addition to spending 2 camps and preseasons in Tampa Bay's offensive system that Liam Cohen imported from LA. While Bridgewater's advantage is starting experience, 65 starts to be exact. Add up all of Trask's career snaps in the regular season, he hasn't even played a full game, maybe not even a full half of a game. Trask looked good against the Tennessee Titans in the first preseason game when he was the starter, completing 12 of 16 passes for 129 yards, thanks in part to throwing to the likes of wide receivers Emeka Egbuka and Jalen McMillan. Trask played with the backups when he went to Pittsburgh, and he struggled, while Bridgewater got the start behind the starting offensive line and throwing to the starting backs and receivers, and looked way better as a result, completing 6 of 10 passes for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Saturday night proves to be more of a fair fight between Trask and Bridgewater, as none of the starters are going to play. I still think Trask will start the season as QB2, and Bridgewater will start on the practice squad. But if Baker Mayfield actually gets injured this year and misses some time, then all bets are off, and Bridgewater could be signed to the active roster and actually start ahead of Trask due to that experience. And hopefully Baker Mayfield stays healthy, and whoever the Bucs backup is remains irrelevant this year. Number 2 on my list is rookie wide receiver Tez Johnson, whom the Bucs are going to be counting on, with Chris Godwin Jr. and Jalen McMillan possibly missing maybe half the season. Johnson made his Bucs debut last week in Pittsburgh and dazzled with a 37-yard punt return. And he had a nice move on a catch to pick up a key first down, but Johnson also dropped a pass on what could have been a big pass play, and then also muffed a punt that was recovered by the Steelers and led to a touchdown. Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Sterling Shepard figured to be the top 3 receivers in week 1 in Atlanta, but Johnson could be wide receiver number 4 if he cuts down on some of those rookie mistakes from the Steelers game and turns in a dominant receiving performance, as he has done a few times in practice this summer. Johnson's going to make the 53, but Saturday night's performance will go far in terms of gaining the trust of offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard and whether or not Johnson can lock up the punt return duties this year. The next Buccaneer that needs to shine on Saturday night is wide receiver Trey Palmer. Remember him? Palmer had a promising rookie season in 2023, but then fell out of favor with the team last year and slid down the depth chart. A hamstring injury has kept Palmer out of the first 2 preseason games, so Saturday night could be do or die, make or break for Palmer's Tampa Bay career. The fact that Jalen McMillan and Chris Godwin Jr. will be out at the start of the season may have fortunately increased Palmer's chances of winning the final receiver spot on the depth chart because of his experience. But Palmer will be competing against the likes of Ryan Miller, who's looked really good, holdover Raheem Jarrett, and newcomers Garrett Green and Jacob Harris. And given how much time he's missed, Palmer needs to wake up pissed off and have a huge game against the Bills on Saturday night. Number 4 on my list is Shiloh Sanders, the safety who is by far the most popular backup on this Bucs roster. When Tampa Bay signed Sanders, I discussed his tackling issues at Colorado and that he was going to have to be a much better tackler if he was going to make the 53-man roster. Pro Football Focus had him down for a missed tackle against the Titans and 2 missed tackles versus the Steelers. So he has some work to do there. Perhaps more importantly, Sanders hasn't really made a splash play yet in the first 2 preseason games, and others have played better on special teams. Sanders' primary competition for that final safety spot is veteran Kayvon Merriweather and Rashad Wisdom, who was on the practice squad all of last year and probably has a better grasp of the defense. Both played better than Sanders did last week in Pittsburgh. So Saturday night will determine whether Shiloh can be anything more than a practice squad safety, which is honestly what he's shown to be so far. And finally, outside linebacker Chris Braswell needs to show that the arrow is pointing up in his trajectory after a much better showing against Pittsburgh than he had versus Tennessee in the preseason opener. Braswell didn't even sniff the quarterback against the Titans, but used a nice ghost move to record a sack on Steelers quarterback Skylar Thompson and had a better overall game in Pittsburgh. It would be great if Braswell came on as a pass rusher again against Buffalo in the preseason finale to show the team that behind Hassan Reddick and Yaya Diaby, there actually might be a second unit that can rush the passer because he's going to be teamed up with Anthony Nelson. And if Braswell continues to show improvement and can maybe get a sack or some quarterback hits or some pressures against Buffalo, that may prompt the team to ride with him and Nelson. Otherwise, Tampa Bay may have to go out and get a more proven pass rusher in free agency or add somebody off the waiver wire because the reserves like Marquise Watts, Jose Ramirez, and rookie Warren Peebles Jr. haven't really shown much. They're more like practice squad players than guys that actually can rush the passer and win a spot as a 53-man roster guy. So here are some honorable mentions in addition to those 5 players that I'm going to be keeping an eye on in the Bucs preseason finale. Which rookie inside linebacker will have the edge to make the 53-man roster as a backup? Or which one will be relegated to the practice squad? The 2 guys I'm talking about, Nick Jackson and John Bullock. Both have been impressive so far in the preseason. Will Josh Williams impress enough to make the active roster, or will he be a practice squad running back for Tampa Bay? The team really likes him, but how much is he going to play on Saturday night, and how effective is he going to be? Will this team keep another running back and have 4 running backs heading into the year, or try to stash him on the practice squad? Because of the talent on Tampa Bay's 2025 roster, this preseason finale should be far more entertaining than those in years past. And the Bucs practice squad this year is actually going to be more talented than ever. I'll be looking forward to seeing which of these Buccaneers shine under the lights in primetime on Saturday night, one last time in August. Make sure you check out the Pewter Report postgame podcast Saturday night. I'll be live from Raymond James Stadium talking about the Bucs and the Bills. You can follow all of the action with that postgame podcast over on Pewter Report TV, our YouTube channel. And you guys have helped that channel grow to over 20,000 subscribers. We're on the way to 21,000 thanks to you. For more Pewter Pulse episodes and other great Bucs video content, like my Pewter Report podcast that I do with Matt Matera and Adam Slavon, make sure you visit Pewter Report TV. Hit the subscribe button. Also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram at Pewter Report. And visit pewterreport.com for all of the breaking news, inside scoop, roster moves, injury reports, game coverage, expert analysis, my SR's Fab 5 column, and more. And I'll be back soon with a new Pewter Pulse.